So questions, sorry, I have started recording. So questions before we move on here. Yeah. So now let us see how to install some you need to install some Perl packages which are Perl scripts you need to install, and we also need to install unzip because you will be downloading software, and you need to unzip that package, and then you have Perl scripts which will automatically push the logs to CloudWatch logs. So now let us see how to push this, enable the memory monitoring logs for EC2 instance to push the logs to CloudWatch. Okay. Um, yeah. So first install this package. Suppose if you are in this package, we have selected Amazon Linux AMI, right? So in this, I'll install this package. So if you see here, I have completed this installation. So then second step is, so you can skip all the steps because if you're taking any Ubuntu image, then you need to follow these steps. Uh, yeah. So this is for Susi. Yeah. Install monitoring scripts. From here, you need to follow the steps, how to do the scripts installation. So copy this one. So execute the script. Now the zip file will be downloaded in this location. You can see the zip file here. So you need to extract this zip file. So to extract zip, you use this command. You can copy paste complete command, but I'll do one by one. So unzip this command. So unzip is done. So if you see here, we have two things. So I'm deleting this one. So I'm deleting remove cloud. So we have AWS script monitoring folder. Navigate inside this folder and see here. So now you have these files, AWS credentials template you have, and AWS signature v4.pm, AWS CloudWatch client.pm, and these two scripts you have. One is for getting and one is for putting. So put means you'll put the memory logs from this EC2 instance to CloudWatch. Get means it can get any request from CloudWatch and check in this tool. So this is the overall package or tool which we have installed. Now, in order to work with this tool, I will just create one role access in IAM and allocate to this EC2 machine. So let me go to IAM. So IAM is nothing but identity and access management. I guess we have seen in earlier session also. So basically here in IAM, you can create groups, you can create users, roles and policies. So basically we'll use this IAM to control the identity and access for different AWS services for the account users or IAM users or guest users. So we will have a detailed session about IAM. For now, I will just create a role, observe how. So now while creating a role, I'll click on create role. I'll select EC2. Uh, so here I'll give some permissions to access EC2 full access and CloudWatch logs, CloudWatch, CloudWatch full access and CloudWatch logs also I'll give. So this CloudWatch logs why I'm giving is we have a logs right under we have logs right. For this logs we need to have this role. So for the same user role I'm giving this CloudWatch logs role as well. Yeah. So name, so we'll give us August 1st, user for memory monitoring. So give a name so that you will know why this user is used, and give the role name, role description, EC2 instances, CloudWatch logs, and CloudWatch full access. What? Okay. What additional symbol
Get
is
rid of 2 maybe, EC2, 2.
strange. So I'll just queue sample user. Okay, let's continue. So let's create a role. So now the role is created, August 1st, user memory monitor role. So now what we will do is go to your instances, EC2 instances, and attach this role to EC2 instance. So right click instance settings. You can attach a replace IAM role. Select this, just refresh once. Okay, I guess this is the one which we created now. Yeah. Yeah. So now we have attached the EC2 role for this instance, right? Now we also installed Perl packages and we have seen the tool is ready. Now you need to know how to use this tool to send the CloudWatch logs to your CloudWatch. Before that, let me open this CloudWatch user interface console. So if you go to alarm, say for example, and when you're creating alarm, select metric. So if you see here, I guess let me show you directly in metrics. Metrics here. So under this metrics, you have custom namespaces, right? So this custom namespaces, we have system Linux. So if you don't install this client, right, the Perl client, whatever we have done, you will be not getting this option. Now, anyone whoever is in front of system, go to your CloudWatch logs and you can check. This will be not there in your mission because we have installed this explicit one. So we got this option. So otherwise, you will have other things like EC2 metrics, you have event metrics, logs, and billing metrics like this. So this Linux, this is a custom one which we have installed so that the CloudWatch is recognizing here. Now, if you go to Linux and if you select instance ID, so this is our instance ID. If you do CD is our instance ID. So if you, okay, let me, it is the old logs. So yes. And instance ID. So this disk space utilization, and if you go to instance ID, this is not the instance. So you can add an instance here, search for, So let us change the instance ID. I'll copy. Yep. So all metrics. And it should be number. Yeah. So now if you see here, nothing is visible, right? So what I have done is this old instance ID which I was using earlier. I just if you click on source, right, you will get the JSON format of what this is there. I just updated the instance ID with our current existing instance ID, whatever I have spinned up. Okay, that's what I have done now. And if you see here, now currently there is no metrics. Why? Because you have installed a memory agent inside your EC2 machine. Fine. But how you also need to tell how does that agent should push the logs from this EC2 machine to this CloudWatch, right? So until you don't tell how you should push it, so it will not know. So if you go to the documentation here, and if you scroll a bit down, you can notice here these are the files which are installed. So put is used to collect the system metrics to EC2 instance like memory, swap, disk space utilization. So these three things are the ones which you are seeing it here. So memory utilization, memory used, and memory available. This is the file which we are going to use in order to push. For this file, these are the ones which are the available options. Like if you see mem -util, so it shows how much memory is getting utilized here in terms of metrics. So these are the different options. Like if you want disk space util, you can give this option. So the command is to execute. So this one. Now let us fire this command in our EC2 instance locally. Clear. And so if you see here, the memory utilization is 8.4%, which is currently in this EC2 machine. Now it is telling there is, see, either you can attach IIM role, which can push from this EC to CloudWatch logs, right? Or you can also use your AWS credentials, the programmatic access. I guess we have done this when we are doing the endpoints, the programmatic access. So in any of the way you can do this one. So so currently this is not pushed to CloudWatch logs. So if you want to push to CloudWatch logs, if I see, I'm refreshing, nothing is there. So if you want to push to CloudWatch logs, use another command like moments, which, yeah, the following example collects all available memory metrics and sends them to CloudWatch. So let us execute this command. So successfully reported metrics to CloudWatch. Now if you come to CloudWatch and if you make a refresh here, so it should bring up memory utilization. Yeah, so let us remove this one, and this is the instance. Yeah, if you see here, it started reporting here, and let us see, go to all metrics and cloud demo. Yeah, if you see here, 28.6 is the one, And if you fire the local command, yeah, 8.4 percentage, 658. Okay, so the current utilization was that. Now let me fire it again to so it takes some time to get reflected. That's why it is showing the earlier memory. So we will install stress tool and we will do some metrics, right? So that time you will notice this one. So let me name it as memory monitoring. Okay. So this is the way you can enable your detailed memory monitoring. So before that, under monitoring, let us enable detailed monitoring. Yeah. Instance. Yeah. So it's showing almost same memory usage here. Yeah, so this is the way you can see, you can add multiple things here. Now we added only memory, right? So if you come to all metrics and click on all, so you have other EC2 here. So if you go per instance metrics or across, if you have multiple instances, if you want across the instances, you can go and check what you need here. Otherwise, if you want to check per instance metrics in EC2, so for example, for this EC2 mission, you need to check CPU credit usage, right? So you select this one. So you will get an data. So once this data is available, it will display the data. So either you can see this data in numbered format or stacked area or line graphs. So these are the different formats. So let us keep this one. Or CPU utilization. I'll remove this one and I'll enable CPU utilization. Yeah. So let us wait for some data to get it available. So this is the way you can enable your memory for any EC2 mission. So this was one of the commonly asked interview question to check whether you have real experience with AWS or not. So in the external world, people install App Dynamics and other third-party tools in order to get these metrics and report it to their monitoring systems like ELK or Splunk or Sumo Logic. So whatever the system they're using. So that is how it works. So any questions here? How to check enabling this memory monitoring for EC2 instance?
Harish,
Yep.
when you were installing or that after like launching the EC2 instance, you installed using certain commands, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was, once you unzipped it, right? There were few commands underneath it. You said
Yeah. Yeah.
that you can do all of it together, but I'm
Yeah.
doing it one by one.
Yeah.
So what are those other two?
So yeah, the other two ones are nothing but I have whatever we downloaded this zip file.
Correct.
This is the zip file which we downloaded. Once we
Mm-hmm.
extract, we will get a folder like this, AWS scripts monitoring. So after
Okay.
download extracting this one, we no need of anything of this zip file, right? That's why I removed this command. So those I have done all
Okay.
manually. I didn't copy from here, but I have done
Yeah.
manually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So So just try practicing once so that whenever they ask in interview, right? So you will be having an idea how to enable detailed monitoring once. Okay, now let us see alarms in CloudWatch. Okay, so how to configure alarms, and go to our CloudWatch dashboard. So okay, now I have one. So alarms will have three stages. Like one is you set your alarm, and whenever it is in insufficient state, right, means your alarm criteria is not met. Whenever it is in OK, and after it is in OK, it will change into green color, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So it means the alarm is already triggered and it is in OK state. Or when you are setting alarm, it will be in alarm stage. So these are the three things which is a self-study you can understand. So now let us set an alarm for any one of the metric. See, metric is nothing but, right? So you understood what are metrics, right? So metric is anything inside your things. So you, for example, in your AWS services. So this is a custom metric, which where we have installed the system Linux is there, right? These are custom metrics where we have installed the Perl scripts in a EC2 machine in order to monitor the metrics ones. So in the similar way, we also have the other things, say for example, application elastic load balancer and EBS volumes, EC2 services and EC2 spots, events, Firehouse and other things, right? So you can select metric for anything, either it can be log or it can be S3 or it can be any of the service in AWS. So this is what metrics is. So now when you're setting an alarm, you need to select what metric we need to do. So say for example, let me click on create alarm, select metric, what metric we are going to select here. So now here you can see the same metric dashboard what we have got. So now let us select the same thing, the memory one, select Linux system, click on instance ID. Just give me a sec. Yeah, sorry for that. So if you select the metric like instance ID, the memory metric which we have installed now. So you can see here two missions are there. So select this mission like 658 memory utilization. So now you have, when you select this metric, you can check the memory utilization is 28%, right? So select this metric. Now you need to set a custom alarm for this metric. Say for example, in auto scaling group we have seen, right, while setting the rules for dynamic scaling group, whenever an rule or a threshold is reached, then you need to perform some action, right? Similarly here, when let's say if the memory is reaching around, so what we are checking is memory utilization. This is the instance ID. If you see here, it is 658. This is the instance ID, and we are checking the average as a statistic, and the period is, I'm just giving 10 seconds because we don't want to waste time on waiting on it. And here there are two types of threshold conditions which you can apply. One is static, the another one is anomaly detection. Static means it's the exact value, whatever you say. For example, if it is reaching 40%, greater than or equal to greater, or less than or equal to lesser. When you're selecting anomaly detection, so it is like a condition where automatically it will identify. So for example, if you give anomaly as 40, now it will automatically identify whether the band is greater than the threshold or not, like this. So I'm selecting the static. Let us say if the percentage of the memory utilization is greater than, let me keep 50% or 60%, I'll give. We can increase this memory in for EC2 with the same test tool which we used on the other day for auto scaling group. Okay. So additional configuration means, So you can keep like, let's say for example, 6 checks. Okay. So out of 6 checks, if you all the 6 times if it is passed, then only the alarm will trigger. Now I'll keep only one just to save some time, and click on next. So now your alarm is set. Okay, now we need to set an SNS topic. SNS nothing but simple notification service in AWS. Either you can create SNS from here if you don't have any other, or you can create SNS from other role. So let me show you from services. So under application integration, you have simple notification service. Okay. So under SNS, basically you have two things. One is topic and one is subscription. Topic is nothing but an similar to an event, like you create a topic. So this topic will have some few subscriptions. Subscriptions is nothing like a similar subscription what you do for a Netflix or some other email things like that, right? So when you click on topics, I'll create a topic here. So let me name this topic as memory topic. SNS. So this option, let me skip out this optional tags. So I have just created a blank topic here. Now for this topic, there are no subscriptions. Empty subscriptions are there. Okay. Now let me create a simple subscription. It can be subscription, can be anything like this ARN will be automatically populated whenever you select this one. And subscription is like either you want to trigger an endpoint of your application. Say for example, if you select a HTTP or HTTPS, you can select your application endpoint so that it go and trigger that endpoint, or you can trigger an email. You can trigger an email JSON or simple queue system. So you can create a queue systems, or if you can trigger any Lambda functions. These are the options what you can do, what you can subscribe under this particular topics. Now I'll select as an email, and you can give your few email IDs. So I can configure here. I can configure multiple emails. For now, I'll put this one. So you can paste in chat so that the notifications for these alarms can be triggered to your email as well. So if you are giving multiple emails, just do a comma separation here and it should work. So these are the subscription filter policy and redrive policy. Okay, suppose if that is not enabled, then you say, for example, if my email is not working, then I can create another SQS or any other one. Right now, I'll disable this one. So now I made a subscription. When you make a subscription, right? So since this email ID has not approved to get the AWS notifications, the status will be pending. So if you log into this email, just give me a sec. Yeah, so if you check the email, so I got a notification here. So the notification is like AWS memory one. So you have chosen a subscription topic. So when you click on confirm subscription, right? So then the status here in CloudWatch will be changed. The pending confirmation will be active. So if it is subscription not confirmed, to receive notification topics, resubscribe your email address. Okay. So the same email I have already subscribed, I guess. Yeah. So if you see here, this is the link. I was referring to old link. So if you come and refresh here, so it is confirmed. Okay. Now any notifications, right, for this topic, say for example, for memory topic SNS. So if I select this topic, under this topic, I have few subscribers. So this is the subscriber list. So if alarm is triggering, I will select this SNS And under this SNS, we have a subscriber, hapmmas gmail.com. For this, the notification will be triggered. Okay. So questions here, how to create a topic and how to create a subscription. Yeah. So if you see here, under alarms, so I will just refresh. I guess it should populate. So I'll come back to first step. So I have kept the threshold for 60%, right? So you can see the threshold here, and waiting period is 10 seconds. Let us click on next. Now you can see under subscription list, you can see memory topic SNS. So select this topic and it shows automatically what are the subscription list here. And if you want to add any auto scaling notification, we can add. Otherwise, you can add an EC2 instance notification also, either to stop the instance or terminate the instance or reboot the instance like this. Okay. So now let us say, yeah, shall we stop the instance? So whenever memory is reaching to 60%, we will say stop the instance. Let's not terminate. If we terminate, we will lose that instance and the instance ID will be changed. So let us stop the instance and let us give alarm name as memory 60 stop instance. When the memory utilization reaches 60%, okay. So finally, you can verify this one, what we have configured, and create alarm. So once you create alarm, as I told, you have 3 stages, right? Initially, it should be, it is under insufficient because you don't have the 60% of the memory utilization currently. So you can check that here. Let us go to metrics. So yeah, so before this one, triggering this alarm, so I forgot to tell you one more thing. If you go to this documentation, right? So we have seen locally in EC2 how to check the memory instance. I mean the memory utilization, and we have also seen the command to push this to your CloudWatch log. But every time will you do this manually? There is a resource required, right? Every time we cannot come and execute this command manually. So what we will do is we will add this one in a cron job, like every 5 minutes push this memory details to CloudWatch logs. So for that we have cron tab. In Linux you have a cron tab which is used to schedule cron jobs. Like there is expression. So this is, let us copy this command and put in. Okay, so this is the command to execute and push the memory. Let us see what is this expression is all about. Okay, so if you see here, there are 5 stars. So one is the minutes, the second one is hours, and the third one is month, fourth one is day of a week, and the fifth one is year. So this is the, so when you give like this */5 means every 5 minutes, and every hour, every day, every week, and every year, means every 5 minutes you push this AWS scripts to CloudWatch logs. That's what this command means. So 5 minutes is a too much interval, right? So I'll give 1 minute here, and let us.
Sorry, Harish, what's the initial star you said?
Initial star means like, see, this is altogether 5 stars. Initial star is minutes, second star is hours, third star is month, day of a month, and this is day of a week, means Monday. So for example, you want to execute only Monday to Friday, you can give like this, Monday to Friday. And this is year. Year is, you can give a range. Say for example 2019 means only in 2019 it will do, or 2019 to 2021 means it will give the range. This I will cover again in uh, events. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
events.
Sure.
Yeah, in events there are two types of events. One is scheduled events and one is normal events. During scheduled events, again I'll show you with the documentation, Namita. So this is the command which will push for every 1 minute. The memory logs will be pushed to Cloud Monitor, right? Means if you see here under the Cloud Monitor, now the memory, whatever we have seen, memory utilization along all metrics. Yeah, now it is not pushed currently because this is the new metric which we selected now. So if you execute this one, a command, this command, successfully reported. So usually takes some time, CloudWatch. So this is the reason the other tools like, the Splunk in commercial and Sumo Logic. Splunk is a bit costlier than Sumo Logic. So these two are the commercial tools for reporting. And if you want to check in open source, ELK is the tool which we will be frequently used. Okay, and let us configure this cron tab before it reflect. So you can, where is that expression? Yeah. So if you fire this command, it will execute only once, right? But if you save in cron.te, yeah, you can see here, now it got reflected. Yeah, go to your EC2 machine. So you have a cron tab -e. So if you type like this, your cron tab will be opened. So no cron tab for root using an empty one, because earlier there were no cron jobs scheduled here. Now I am pasting that command here. Means every 1 minute, every hour, every day, every month, and every year, which is basically every minute, I need to push execute this script. So that's the command. Now this is like a VI editor. Just escape, right quit. Yeah. Let us check again. Yeah. So this is there. Now, since we have kept this command in cron tab, every minute it will be pushing the logs like this. It will report the metrics to CloudWatch every 1 minute for this memory. So any queries here? So now it is 10:59, right? So if I refresh after 1 minute, this value, suppose if I do some changes inside this one, let us install stress here. Okay. How to put memory load? Yeah. -m VM memory allocation free. So let us check. Yeah, let me change this memory here. So instead of 128, I'll put 256, and I'll keep ms unit 2 units, And let us execute this for 5 minutes so that the memory will keep on increasing. Okay, so I started executing for 5 minutes. Now you can check this one, the memory utilization here. So I can check in terms of 1 hour, and I check, I can, yes, percentage also will be there. Yep.
So you're trying to get the memory utilization as well up, is it?
We are already getting memory utilization, but in terms of percentage, I'm trying to get.
Okay, but
Custom.
isn't that the underneath two which you have selected is what you see there, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have memory used
Yeah.
and memory
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's memory used. Okay.
So I'll just keep only memory utilization. It is 28.8%. Okay. Thanks for that, Namta. And if you see here under alarms, already alarm is get triggered. If you see here, memory which has been crossed to 60%. Let us check. We should have got notification. Yeah. Yeah, the waiting period was 10 seconds, right? But initially when we executed, it was only for 10 seconds. Now let us wait for a few more time till it reach this threshold. So the current utilization is 35%. Let us leave this utilization as it is. Let it, when it reach to 60%, we should get the notification for the SNS topic what we have created. Okay. So come on. So meanwhile, we can check some other events. Let's check events, and we will see this utilization. I mean the memory alarm triggering later. So queries here, how to set an alarm. So you can set alarm for multiple things. One is any metric, like it can be a memory utilization metric or a CPU utilization metric, or it can be monitoring your load balancers or network load balancer or whatever it is. So based on the metrics, you can create your alarms, and based on the alarm, you can trigger your actions either through SNS or some other things. Now events is also similar to alarms, but under events there are two things. One is rules and one is
Hari, sorry. Under the alarms, oh, the billing is means it's the billing for the alarms or some other billing basically.
billing.
Under
For,
alarms only. Under okay.
no. Billing is there. For alarm billing will be under CloudWatch logs, as per my knowledge. And initially you will get in a free tier account 10 alarms for free. I guess 10 alarms and 10 metrics, 10 events in free tier account. After this, the billing will be based on for every alarm it is $0.10.
Okay.
You can check here alarm billing CloudWatch cost. Yeah, there are different models. Yes, I can recollect now. So either it can be an instance model, or it can be an alarm model. Like every alarm will be $0.10. That's what when I studied last year. But so this will be changing, Salesh.
Sure, I was just asking, just curious because under that
Uh,
there's a link, it's a billing link. So I was just thinking that means that billing shows the billing for this alarms or what actually?
this billing link.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is say for okay, so this billing is nothing but say whenever you log into your account, right? Say for example, go to See, we are in Ohio region. Ohio region, you cannot set the billing alarms. These billing alarms you can set for North Virginia region, because in Ohio, what exactly happens is, if anyone in North Virginia also, you can go and look at the metrics. Under metrics, if you go for all metrics, so you should be able to see billing here. Okay, so that billing is not available here. Once if it's not available here, what you need to do is you can go to your billing dashboard and click on billing preferences. Here you have an option, right? Receive billing alerts. So you need to enable this option and save the preferences. If you are in North Virginia region, I think for Ohio it's not coming for some reason. For North Virginia region, you can enable the billing. Means you can say, for example, my current bill here. If you go to bills, yeah, it's $0.48, right? So I can set an billing alarm whenever it reaches $1, either for one service or either for all service. Whenever it is reaching to $1, now I need to trigger a billing alarm. So that's what this billing is, Sailesh. So you can check with a different region, North Virginia region, like that. For Ohio,
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's not triggering. At the moment, CloudWatch displays billing data alarms in, yeah. So at the moment, they are supporting only this region. Okay,
Good.
so
Thanks, Satish.
see, sometimes when we do labs, right, I forgot to terminate the lab. Like say for example, load balancers. During load balancer class or while giving the Docker's class, we will take four instances and running it, right? So if you forget to terminate, and if these are executing for 3 days or 4 days, then imagine what is the billing they are coming. So for those things and all, we can set a billing alarm for every 1 minute. For $1. Whenever it reaches $1, then you will get a notification. So after seeing your email, you can go and terminate that bill. That's the reason this billing is there. Okay. And so we'll extend for 20 more minutes and try to complete this CloudWatch and CloudTrails today. And from today, we'll try to have a session for 1.5 hours every day. I guess it should be fine with everyone.
Should be fine, Harish.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you see here under events, so when you click on create event, right? So two types of events can be there. So sorry, before events, any questions in alarms? Okay, let me take it as no. And under the events, right? So when you click on events, two things you can create. One is event pattern, and one is the scheduled metric or scheduled rules. So under event pattern, right? If some condition is there, then do this one. Under scheduled means, okay, every morning at 5 a.m. Like alarm, it is similar to alarm. Every morning at 5 a.m. or you can schedule a cron expression like that. Now let us see how the event pattern works. So due to the time limitation, I will just put up for scheduled one. Event one, we will see it next. You can, it is a self one. You can configure on your own. So event one means you will have different type of services here. Okay, all the AWS services which are supported for this event pattern, it will be listed here. Now, say for example, you want to do for EC2. Okay, so this is select your EC2. And under this EC2 service, what are the event types they are supporting? Means instance change notification. Means whenever instance change for a stop to terminate, terminate to restart, like this, the instance change will be there. So let us check. So meanwhile, let me open that cloud EC2 console so that whenever it reaches 60%, the instance should be terminated, right? We need to. So if you see here, the instance is stopped now because the memory has reached 60%. Alarm has triggered here, and it has. You can check our email. If you see here, our email got this alarm 60 stop instance. You are receiving this email because AWS CloudWatch alarm in this particular region, Ohio region, threshold has crossed 1 out of 1 data points. Suppose if you while creating I showed 6, right, means 6 times it will check whether the memory utilization is 60% and it is waiting for a period of 10 seconds. Like that 6 times it will check and then it will trigger the alarm. So it's greater than the threshold of 60 for a minimum of 1 data point OK alarm. So that's the reason this alarm is there. So like this, you'll get an email notification. And what is the thing that we have done? State means for this alarm, we have configured to stop the instance. Okay, now let us restart the instance here. So yeah, coming back to events. So under event types, you have different type of events under EC2. So either during the instance change, whenever the instance change like this is one, and what are the changes for this instance? Say either when it is stopped or running or terminated, you can select any one, or if it is any state. So this is the one. Then what action you need to do here? So again, so if this is your condition, for this condition, you need to do this one. So add target means either you can write a Lambda script and you can execute the script, or you can write an SNS topic. Under SNS topic, you can say you need to send an email saying that this particular thing has been done. Like this, you can. This is the event pattern. Means based on the particular event. Say for example, if this is happening, then you need to do this one. When you know those both conditions, condition 1 and 2, then you will be using this event pattern source. Then otherwise you will use schedule shows. If you see under schedules, scheduled rules, there are two things again. Means it might be a fixed time of configurations in minutes, hours, or days. For every 5 minutes, do whatever execute a Lambda function or take a backup of the snapshot. Otherwise, you can give the cron expression. So this cron expression which we have discussed now. So to learn more, I'll show you this cron expression. So if you come down here, so this is the cron expression. First star means there are 6 stars are there. First star, second, third, 4, 5, 6. First one is minutes, second one is hours, third one is day of a month, fourth one is month, and fifth one is day of a week. Means which day, like 1 to 7 means it will work all the days. Or if you just keep question mark also, it will execute all the days. If you keep star also, it will execute all the days. Year means this one. So like this, say for example, let us take an example here. I think there should be one more time. Yeah. So this is one of the example. Run at 10 a.m. every day means you are giving like this. Minutes is 0 because it is 10 a.m. right, and hours is you are giving 10, and day means every day you should execute, right, and month means you can keep star, day of a week you can keep question mark, and this is one. So if you want more details, you can just check this one. What is question mark stand for? What is forward slash? These are the wildcard regular expressions. So this is not something related to AWS. Okay, this is something related to Linux system where you can schedule your cron jobs. So just have a look when you're practicing this CloudWatch lab, right? So try to give different expressions. Say for example, every 5 minutes, every hour, or every alternate day, like that. So you can check your expression. Let's say for example, we have created this one, right? 4, 5, 6, yeah. 2, 3, 6. So if you copy that expression here, cron expression, and enter. Okay, let us copy. Okay, so let us change this into question mark and we can enter. If you see here, every 1 minute it is, let me keep every 1 hour it is showing. Let us keep this also star. And I say every 5 minutes, okay. So if you see here, the current time as per this server EC2 server is 14.5, then 15.5, 16.5, like this. You can see the change, and these are the times which are sampled next 10 triggers when it is coming. Say for example, if you give, yeah, so 1320, 1325, 1330, 1335, 1340 means every 5 seconds, I mean 5 minutes, the job will be executed. Okay. Let us keep this topic only. Either you can select anything, like you can select a Lambda expression or batch job, or EC2, you can reboot it, take a snapshot backup like that. Now I'll keep this memory topic only, and I'll just create email every 5 minutes with mem. Okay. So your rule has been created for an event. If you come and refresh here. Email every 5 minutes. So let us see at the end of the session how many emails we have got. So currently there are no emails. So at the end of the session, we should have some 2 to 3 emails. Okay. So that's how you can configure events. And also you have one more thing called event buses. Means if you want, if there are 2 accounts, right? If you want to see other account event, another AWS account event, you can configure this one. It is similar like JMS or a messaging system. So I never get a chance to use this one. Basically, in the one account only will be using. This will be used in rare use cases. And events is done. Metrics, you know what are the metrics that we can monitor. If you want to monitor any custom metrics, then you need to install those custom things in your machine. Otherwise, by default things, whatever is coming here, that you can monitor. And logs is the next thing. So under logs you can create 2 things. One is log groups you can create. So for this, what I will do is I will install an Nginx server, right? So we have a, so these log groups can be anything. Either you, whenever you are creating auto scaling group, right? So if you have enabled that cloud, report this to CloudWatch means here the auto scaling group logs will be available. Or similarly, when you are creating VPC, if you select that option, the logs will be available here. So whatever the AWS services are there, for those services, you can see the logs available here. But for any application specific logs, right? So for example, we are running an application in a Tomcat server. So if you want to monitor those applications logs, then you need to specifically modify your application log groups. Here we are using the tools like Elastic Logstash Kibana. So in Elastic Logstash Kibana, this is an open source tool where you are using file metrics and file beats and memory beats. Similarly, we have Splunk tool. So you have a Splunk forwarder, which will be installing in EC2 machine, and you have a Splunk server to receive the logs. Splunk server is nothing but the CloudWatch here. Okay. In Splunk server, you can filter the logs, right? You will have a user interface. You can filter the logs. Here you will have a Kibana user interface or Grafana user interface. Here you will filter the logs in open source. In Splunk, similarly, there is one more called Sumo Logic. Same thing, same architecture for Sumo Logic also. So, but these are the external tools which are there. But AWS is providing CloudWatch to monitor the logs. But just remember one thing, these logs are mainly used only for AWS services, to monitor AWS services logs. But application specific logs we'll be using with the tools like this one. Clear? Yeah. So questions? Sorry. Yeah. So if you see here, there are multiple log groups are there and insights are there, right? Insight is nothing but it analytics, like under the particular log, if you want to check any particular thing, you can use these insights. And log groups is like you can create different log groups and you can use these logs. Let me do one thing. I will install. Okay, this is off, right? Let us restart this, reconnect. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let us install Ninjix server, the application server. So we will have logs for this server, right? So let us see how to push that logs back to this CloudWatch. So this is not actually required. So as a demo to understand in a better way. So I'm just showcasing this one. Okay, em install. Ninjix. Okay, server is running. So you will have logs under where log location, right? Where log. So if you see here under this where log Ninjix server location, so you have two logs. One is access log is there and one is error log is there. Now let us see how to push this access log and this error logs to this CloudWatch. Okay, under log groups. Now I have only two log groups here. Now, so for this again you need to install one more client, which is like AWS logs config. Nano. So for that, yum install AWS logs -y. So it will install a CLI plugin to CloudWatch logs and AWS AMZ no architecture. So these are the things which are getting very installed. So and CLI plugin. Okay. So the installation is completed. Service AWS logs. Let's not start this one. Let us see the status. Now AWS logs is stopped, right? So you will have a configuration file for this one. Let us open that under etc AWS logs, AWS logs.config. So if you open this file, if you come down, yeah. So copy this thing. Click. Let's paste it here. So I have taken a snapshot. So here we need to provide Ninjix where log, Ninjix up to access, and here we need to provide this complete file path and the duration, and the instance ID will be automatically picked up. So if you see here in our location, so let me, okay. Yeah, this is the location. So access file is access.log, right? So similarly copy paste this same thing, and log group name I'll give it as access, and this is error. Okay. So any queries why I'm doing all these things? So we have installed a tool called AWS log collector. So this AWS log collector will have a configuration file. This is the file which I have opened. So if you see here, these are the parameters what you can configure here, so that this will be pushed log in a particular format. Say for example, if you know Apache Log4j, right? It's similar to Apache Log4j. In Apache Log4j, what will happen? You will have some format. So first thing is date you will have, then log level, either it may be warn, error, debug, info, whatever it is as per the log lifecycle, and you will have the Java class name, which is if it is Java, which class name it is coming, which module name it is coming, and what is, then you will have the stack trace of the particular error or the information of the particular message. This is how every log file will look, right? So now we are telling -b, -d, hours, minutes, seconds. This is the format which you need to create, and our logs is there, right? The Ninjix server logs.
Harish, how did you get that one? Can you just show that command again? And how did you get this part again?
Which command? I will repeat
I
this
mean,
again. Yep.
yeah.
So this you are configuring. Okay. So this is a configuration file inside the AWS log client. So you're copying this configuration file, and what exactly you need to do? You need to send the logs of a Ninjix server, right? So Ninjix server means you will have logs under this particular location. Under where? Under log folder you have Ninjix. Under Ninjix you have two files created. One is for access logs. The another one is error logs. Access logs will have all the information about who is accessing your web application or web server. Error logs will have the errors of your web server. So under access logs, you can check who has been logged in and all. Now I'm configuring this setup for access under log group name, and the another log group name is for error. So now let us copy paste this back to our the AWS config file. So copy this and I'll paste it here. Okay. So to save this one, Control X. Yeah. So to answer your question, Sailesh, so first what I have done is I have installed AWS logs using this command. One second, where is that install command? Yum install AWS log -y. Okay, this is the command which the AWS log client is installed. Once I install, what I have done a service check whether this is executing or not. Okay, the AWS logs is stopped. So I have opened the configuration file of this particular AWS log .conf. So in that configuration file, we have done the edit to collect the logs of a Ninjix server and provide it to CloudWatch logs. Clear here? Now let us start the service.
Yes, Harish.
Service AWS logs start. Okay, now it's executing. Now you can check the status again. Now AWS logs is running on this particular process ID. Okay. Now if you go and check the CloudWatch, right? Console. Go to your logs, log groups. So I guess create a log group. I guess this should be pulled out automatically. Let us check. So this is inside. So I guess it should be picked up automatically. If it is don't picking up, then you need to create metric filter. Let's wait for some around 1 minute. If it is not getting created, then what we can do is I guess this is a new interface. I did this long back in the old one. Okay. Is it this one?
Maybe Harish, if we access those Nginx servers, so logs will be generated, right?
Yeah. So it's by default log should be there. What I will do is I will just paste this web application URL. Can you all try logging this one? Just try to access this endpoint in the chart from the chart. Okay. The Ninjax server is not running because we stopped and started, right? So service Ninjax start status. Yeah. Now try accessing this one. It's taking a lot of time. Strange. Service Ninjax. Shit. Okay, let me stop the server. Yum uninstall. Service. There is some issue with this Ninjax server. It's not getting logged. So yeah, no, so try accessing the same steps. So when you do the refresh, right? So when you're accessing when the logs are generated, log group will be generated automatically for the. So we have given that in configuration, right? Log group name. So automatically with this name, a log group will be created. So if you go under access, multiple logs will be visible there. But this is the way you monitor the application logs. But CloudWatch is not the right tool to monitor your application logs. CloudWatch is a tool which is used to monitor your AWS services logs, like your load balancer, your auto scaling groups, your VPCs, like that. Whatever the infrastructure or the AWS services like Lambda executions and all, right? So when these type of AWS services are accessed, for that you need to check the log whether really my load balancer is working fine or not, when it has been overloaded or when it has been the auto scaling group instance has been. For those logs you use this one, and for application logs, as I told, the tools the other tools are being used. So just try this one. I guess there is some problem here with my Nginx server. It's not getting start working here. Okay. Yeah, that's the way you can work with logs. So you have seen like alarms, how to configure alarm, and how log groups, and how to configure logs, metrics, events, right? So these are the things which were there traditionally in earlier CloudWatch. There are other services like Service Lens and Container Insights. Container Insights is a new service which is recently introduced to monitor your ECS systems. ECS means container systems like Dockers and other things. For those things, you will be using these Container Insights. Okay. The other thing is you have Service Lens. Service Lens is more like the instrumented applications to monitor. So for example, you have developed your application using the AWS tools, or any application in that case. So there are two things. If you want to do check this one, either it will automatically create a sample application with Node.js. So what exactly this Service Lens or AWS X-Ray will do is, so you have your application, right? Inside your application, they'll keep a build here. Okay, some AWS code or some jar file will be there. For example, in Java, jar file. What this will do is, whenever a user, you have deployed this application into a bean stack or EC2 server, right? So you will give an user a domain DNS name. So user will enter this URL, say for example, hdfcbank.com. So user will access this URL. Now inside this hdfcbank.com, you have used this AWS custom build. What this custom build will do is, it will give you a report of overall usage of user, how much time user is stayed in different pages. Say for example, there are a lot of services, e-commerce pages there. In e-commerce, which users are staying more in which page, what exactly they are doing in that user. Every minute metric will be monitored using this custom build. So I have done the POC earlier. To do this POC, it will take around 1 hour. So I don't want to waste the time in these training sessions. So I will just give overview. How, suppose if you are from development background, you can quickly understand what is this. So select this one, this option, instrument your application, go to next. Then say for example, I am from Java background. If I select Java, and if you go next, right? So here you will have the configuration, how exactly you can do. So when you build a web application, right, you either, if you're having Maven, you can use this one, or if you don't have Maven, download your AWS X-Ray Recorder SDK jar file. So this is available from AWS documentation. Okay, so you can download the jar file and add it to Java build path. So once you add this POM dependency or the jar file to your project, then your deployment descriptor, which is nothing but WebXML, you need to add this filter. Okay, once you add this one in your filter, then everything whatever it is done, I mean, say for example, then you will build a war file, right? A war file or a jar file. If you're using Spring Boot, it will be jar file. So when you deploy that war file into a server, so in that war file, you will have this custom build of AWS. This will monitor every piece of your application, and it will create a metric. A very big metric will be there. Now in this metric, you can filter out. I will show you from where you can do that. So if you cancel, So traces is there. So they call it as traces. Under this traces, you will get a trace log list. Okay. So whenever you deploy that application and if your users will start using, you will have the logs here like trace logs and all. Then you can filter under which client IP it is coming and what are the annotations they are getting used. What is the response time for that particular function what you have written. Like this, this is the advantage of using Service Lens or AWS X-Ray. So questions here. So are you clear why this Service Lens? See, this is, you just keep this concept. Yes, the Service Lens, I know why it is used. If you are clear with that, then it should be fine. So it's not mandated that you need to do a practical.
Harish, this is only for a web applications which are an individual or a kind of, in
Not,
a ESBs or a, any kind of dependency applications are building. During that time also, this will be, feasible to put it on a AWS, by the way.
see, it might be any application. It might be a web application, or it might be a native web application, or it might be a mobile application. Doesn't matter. Until they are supporting right now 4 languages on different builds, right? So you instrument your application. What do you mean by instrument, right? Means already you have application. For that application, you are adding additional dependency in terms of mobile technology or mobile computing, right? Instrumentation means you already have an application. Inside that application, you are keeping your developer profile. Usually this will be done only in till testing environment. After during the deployment environment, if you want to really monitor the production metrics, then only you will be deploying this part of AWS build what you are doing. Otherwise, after that you will remove that.
So
This
you mean
is
to say like the downstream application where exactly we need this kind of, where exactly we need to build a kind of, sometimes what happens, right? A stubbing and dynamic applications
exactly
to give the responses that's supposed to be like a built on this kind of AWS platform is work out. So that's the context I have asked. So
yeah
is that
exactly
possible, right, Harish?
yeah
Like,
yeah it's
that is
possible
the use case you can give an example, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you see here now,
And limitation is here, you are saying these kind of programming languages only. So as of now, AWS restricted to the, Node.js, Java, and the other few things you are showing on the screen.
see,
Yeah,
nowadays most of the applications are built in with these languages, right? So earlier, traditionally, how they were doing, so they were depending on AppBot. So these are few companies which were, say for example, you want to find out the sentiment of a particular mobile application. You have developed an application. You need to check how people are reacting for that. So for that, so AppBot is one of the company which are they providing library. So if you install their library inside your company build, then automatically they monitor all your on custom on analytics. Now AWS itself is providing you that option. Just give me a sec.
Okay, thanks, Harish. Thanks for the clarification.
Just give me a sec. AWS itself is providing you that configuration. Can you see my screen still presented?
No, Harish.
Yeah. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. So here, many of the applications, recent applications are developed with these languages. When you try to instrument during the development code itself, you can get all the metrics of that particular application into this monitoring thing. From there, you can filter out channel. So I have done a real-time use case for while we have injected this code in one of the mobile application. So whenever that mobile applications is used by the product in the production system, we were getting that metrics into our traces. So we have provided these traces to the customer. Then the customer figured out where exactly he need to improve the code to provide this user experience. So that's all about Service Lens. So we completed CloudWatch. Any questions in CloudWatch here? Okay, let's go to here. So if you see here, we have got multiple notifications. Every 5 minutes, we have triggered one, right? The event. So as per the cron job, every 5 minutes, the email has been triggered here. So if you see here 24 minutes ago, then 19 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. So this is how you can get your logs, event logs. So questions in CloudWatch? You cannot become an expert in a day or like that. So it's all about practice, what you practice. And suppose if you are working in any AWS project, so just go and check what exactly your project team has configured. So just don't try to do anything. Just open the logs, check the logs, see the configuration, and you'll get a better idea. And I'll just take 2 minutes to explain about CloudTrails. There is one more service under management and governance, which is CloudTrail. Okay, CloudTrail is nothing but it will monitor each and every activity what is done in your AWS account. Say for example, I have an account like Swami Navara. Under this account, every activity. Say for example, in the last 5 actions, what we have done, created a log group, and we have created a log stream. We have scheduled some expression. So like this, every user, not only for root user, if any IAM user is logging also, everything will be monitored, and it will be stored. Usually they provide one trail. So this trail is used to save the logs. Either you can save through S3 bucket or some other storage devices. Okay, and even in CloudWatch, right, you can create dashboards. Left out of dashboard. So this dashboard is like, so for example, one dashboard is free for one account. So if you say for example manager, right, so you can create the custom dashboard for your manager. How many EC2 instances are executing, load balancer there, and how much thing is there. Then billing dashboard. So what is monthly billing, weekly billing, daily billing. So like that you can configure the dashboard, custom dashboard, and one dashboard is free per account. Yeah. So questions before we wind up today's session?